my heart, Holy Spirit, message of love to encourage me, lifting my heart from despair, how you love me and care for me, Lord, just speak to my heart, speak to my heart, Holy Spirit, give me the words that will bring to life, words on the wings of the morning, the dark clouds will fade away if you speak to my heart, speak to my heart, Holy Spirit, message of love to encourage me, lifting my heart from despair, how you love me and care for me, Lord, just speak to my heart, speak to my heart, speak to my heart, speak to my heart, speak to my heart. Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. I'll never go on my own. Just let your spirit guide and let your word abide. Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. I'll never go on my own. Just let your spirit guide and let your word abide. Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. I'll never go on my own. Just let your spirit guide and let your word abide. Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. I'll never go on my own. Just let your spirit guide and let your word abide. Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. I'll never go on my own. Just let your spirit guide and let your word abide. Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone.
Hi, let me ask you a question. If I ask you, what are you good at? What is that one thing that you know you can do better than anybody? What is it? If I ask you, what were your talents and giftings, your spiritual gifts, would you know? Well, we're going to learn today. Come on in, family. Welcome back to Mama's Knee. I'm Minister Iris. So, what is that one thing that you're good at? Or maybe several things. Some people are good at singing, dancing, writing, cooking, baking, sewing, talking, encouraging, preaching, teaching. Let's talk about your spiritual gifts. First of all, we all are given gifts, and we're giving them for a purpose. They're not for us. It's not for us to know May's business. God gives them to us to use in the body. We are to use those gifts in the house of God. And I know that there's some places that you will go and your discernment may kick in and you'll be like, testing that spirit by that. But I realize there are a lot of us who don't even know what our gift is. And I have to tell you some people will speak it over you and tell you, well, you know what? You got the gifting of healings. You know what? You got the giftings of an administrator. But there's something in you. I always like to say it's that one thing that you do well, and you do it like you were born to do it. Now, there's giftings and then there's talents. But it's that thing that brings you that peace and that joy. And right now, I think those talents are being missed in the house of God. And people say, well, God can't use me. Well, I've done this and I've done this and I've been here and I've done this. Okay. Abraham and Sarah was old. Samson was a womanizer. Naomi, what was she? She was a widow. Moses, I used to stammer, so I was thinking, God can't use my mouth. Moses stammered. Peter denied him 3 times. Really? He used murderers. He used everybody. He used fishermen. God has a place for you in the kingdom. And I just want to see if you know or are aware, because a lot of people aren't. Like, have you ever taken a spiritual inventory test? You have to. You have to do this. You have to try this. And you can Google it anywhere, spiritual gifting test, and look at it. And see, and answer it truly and see if it fits you. But then after that, see where it could fit in the house of God. But if we're not in the house of God, or we're not in our rightful place, then our gifts aren't being used. I have taken gift inventory tests for spiritual gifts over the years, and they always come out to be correct, because I'm going to be truthful. Like, who's looking at them? Just me. And I'm going, yeah, you know what? That is me. And I'll look at somebody and I'm thinking, wow, they can teach. It's not my zhush. It's not something I'm good at. But whatever you're good at, God can use you. But you got to be in the right place in the right time. And sometimes those gifts are also used in our profession during the day. They really are. But the main purpose for them, 1 Corinthians 12:8-10, he mentions wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, miracles, prophecy, discerning of spirits, speaking in tongues. That means that we have that ability to do that. That's just not for the apostles, just not for the bishop, just not for the prophetess. It's for you too. There's supposed to be evangelists, apostles, service. We look at the little things and the mundane things. I am not great with, and I'm being brutally honest, when I used to take the test, one of my lowest was giving. Speaking only true. But have you ever met someone that they give, but what does the world say? Oh, they just want to throw around their money. No, God's wired them like that. And that's what they're there to do. For me, I'm an encourager. And people, you talk a lot. Yes, I do, but apparently you're listening. But I used to say, God's going to use my mouth one day for his glory. But counseling and encouraging, there is nothing like it in the world. I would not want to do anything. I used to love to shop. I used to love to eat. I used to love to watch TV. Nothing compares to that. And once you find that place in God where he's using you, it's like, wow. Are you a compassionate person? Do you cry when somebody else is crying? Do you feel others when they're hurt? Gift of mercy. Are you that person that could come in and make something beautiful? Are you a person who can build with your hands? Everybody is needed. We used to have somebody in our church, everything she touched, she could make it beautiful. She would take shoes and put appliques of beads and pearls on them. And I'm thinking, how do you do that? She would make a flower arrangement. That was her gift. That was her talent. That was her talent. My pastor is a person who teaches, and I'm thinking like this, wow, you meet so many people where they'll go, well, I'm not really a minister, but you're a teacher. Have you ever met a pastor that they unpack that thing, they unpack that word? Or have you met someone who they like to go on mission trips? They like to go establish churches. They just think they like to travel. But when you bring it in the house of God, this is the things that he has taught us to do. Hospitality. You like to greet people. You like to say, hi, sis, how are you doing? You like to make people feel welcome. People are welcome at your house. Hospitality. Another one, that apostleship. The church needs apostles in the body. They need preachers and teachers. There is a place that he can use you if you're willing. Because we all have that place inside that we're looking to be a part of, that thing that you do well, but you don't know where to go with it. I write. And when that talent came to me, I used it for the devil's glory. And then I learned, well, I can write a sermonette. Or I can write, I wanted to have a gift card business because my encouragement was writing, letting people know that I see you, brother. I see you, sis. I'm here for you. And everybody I know would always say, Ms. Harris, remember you gave me that? That's something. That's my thing. What about the gift of knowledge? Where people say, you think you know everything. And wisdom. No. Turn those words around. There is a place for you. God has already assigned those gifts and talents to you. It's up to us now to say, here I am, in your local church. Even in your community, those gifts can be used. There are some people who love to serve others in the community. And I'm thinking, they do this effortlessly and tirelessly. It's in them. They were born to do just that thing. Have you ever met somebody that can preach and you be like, wow, or they have the knowledge of the word? Or someone, you ever talk to someone and you think, wow, how would you know that? Prophecy, wisdom, knowledge, faith. My faith is strong. Even when I think that it's weak, it's strong. I look back over my life and all the things that I had faith in God and believing, especially for my body and my healing. That's a gift. That's a gift. It's needed. You're needed. I don't care where you've been, what you've done. There, you can go through the whole Bible, and there are people that God used in a mighty way. A mighty way. David, Paul, everybody. They're not perfect. There's not a perfect person, but he used them. And he can use you too if you allow yourself to be used. You surrender your times, your talents, and your treasures and your giftings to him. It's not easy, and sometimes it's uncomfortable at first, especially if you're a humble, shy person, because you don't want to think, oh, I got that. I can do that. I used to think like that too. And I'm like, I'm not good at that. I can't do that. But deep inside, I know this is God. This is God. And they used to say that to find out where the most talented people were, untapped talent is in the graveyard. Have you ever met someone to say, oh, that's just a waste. They're just wasting their life. It's negative and it's not nice to say that, but I've seen somebody who had talent so great to write, to sing, and they just chose to do different things. And sometimes I think as church folks, leaders, teachers, mothers, fathers, we need to encourage our children from young and let them know, especially if God has given that to you. This is who they're going to be. My children don't like hearing, God's called you to be a prophet. From that road to this one, it's a long time, but I don't know what God is going to do. So he can use everybody. He uses children. Have you ever saw a child give a message or talk to you and tell you something that only God could have told them? Where the Holy Spirit just resides in them? They're needed. Exhortation. That's encouraging and speaking out. And then there are some people that he gives to speak a word just in speaking in tongues or just to the congregation. I know that's a little deeper than the cutesy stuff, but it says that this is not me. This is the word of God. And I know I have talked so much about coming back home, coming into God's house, but it's time. It's time. It's just not time just to come back to church. There's a job that we each have to do. And I always say it, I too was guilty of that. A little something. I love to write. And I was at my home church and I wrote every day. One, because it was fertile ground there. It was holiness, but I was encouraged. There were people that saw that talent in me. And as soon as I left, it's almost like the gift left. I kid you not. I journal every day. That's the thing. Are you a journaler? There are some people who journal who come to turn out to be the best authors. There is a gift in you that can be so small or so big. But again, until I came back to my church home, I have not written as much as I have. Now, I have a lot of things everywhere in my book. I have this little writing, this little snippet, this little sermon that, I'm going to write a sermon about that. But where you're encouraged, but somebody said it best. Your gifts will make room for you, but if you're in the wrong place where people will not allow the God in you to prosper, to thrive, and encourage that gift and even call it out. Because you have some people who are very envious and jealous of other people's gifts. I rebuke that. If people have done that to you, I rebuke them now. Rebuke them when they speak out against you. There are people like, I want to be able to preach like that. Well, I want to prophesy like that. Well, be careful what you ask for. Because some of these people with these gifts, they have to walk a walk that maybe you're not ready to walk yet. Be careful of wanting somebody else's gifting because you don't know what they went through to get to that point, what God had to prepare them for. Heck and high water, come in the fire, hell and back, the devil always at them. Be careful. But encourage another person's gift if you see that in them. And I don't care how good it looks. Don't envy it. It's, instead of, join me, don't beat me. Let's let iron sharpens iron. There is a place for you, and God needs you. Somebody needs your gift in the house of God. Somebody passing by you and God gives you a word and you think, I'm not going to say that. I don't know them. That's the Holy Spirit. God needs you. If you're one of those people who have exuberant amounts of cash, money, God bless you. There's somebody who needs that. You're not a person to ask for it back. You are definitely the giver. Try it. But I kid you not, when you are working in God's house, I know we all have jobs and own our own businesses, but there's something about working in God's house that for me, my life comes alive again. I have purpose. Yes, I'm a mother and I'm a wife and, I work at a job Monday through Friday, but this right here, it's new to me and I'm walking it out by faith. Obedience, because let's put that in there, obedience. You have to be obedient. And I know, did God use Jonah? He ran. For us that were running. Don't run away to the wrong thing. Run to a place that will cultivate that God-given talent and gift in you. You have to want it. You have to surrender. Remember, it's not yours. Don't be cocky with it. Be humble. But come and serve somewhere. Even if you can't find that place that is a church home for you, even if you go there just to volunteer, you'd be amazed what God can do. Because next thing you know, I don't want to go there. And next thing you know, you're helping, you're cleaning up. And that too. There are some people who can clean, and I'm thinking, well, I can't clean like that, or organize. That gifting and talents are needed everywhere. So what happens when God called you to do a thing, but you're not in your rightful place? I think it's fun knowing what you were designed for. I like knowing that because growing up, I did not always know. And we listened to everybody. Oh, you can play basketball. He ain't no basketball player. He's an engineer. Oh, he's not an engineer. Oh, you know what? Oh, he can preach. But we don't cultivate those things. And sometimes we don't want those things to be told to us because we want to stay out in the world. I'm just being real with that one because that was me. I wanted to be Iris and do Iris. I wasn't ready, God. But little by little, just start with taking a spiritual inventory just to see if it, be truthful, see if it lines up. Go to the word in the set where it says that these are the things that God is asking. There's teachers, apostles. All of us are needed. You might think that you're just a person that just can talk to people. That's a message. Find your place and find your place in God. It makes a difference. I didn't look at it where, oh, that's just a gifting, but I'm just sitting on it. And I used to say, well, if I don't use this gift, does it lay dormant? Does it come back? I can say that for me, I use them, but not in God's house. And they kind of lay dormant because they came alive. Like I felt like the moment I walked back. So even if that's you and you feel like, I'm away and I'm not, trust me, when we die to ourselves and just come alongside, and I pray that God puts you in the right place where your gifts will make room for you, where people won't put a lamp over your light. It can happen. It does happen. But just think about it. It's always a conversation. It's always a thought. Let's think about what Minister Iris said. But it's needed. You're being missed. Someone's not being saved because you're not in your place. Someone's not being healed. Oh, let's not even talk about the gifts. Healing. You got that fire in your hand. There's somebody who needs you. I need you. How about that? I love you. May God's light always shine on you. May you find a place where you're celebrated, where God reigns, where let him use you. We let other people use us all the time. always being used by the wrong person or the wrong entity, the wrong business. Get about God's business. Come on in the house. Find your gifts, your callings. Give them your treasures and your talents and your money too. Yes. Family, I love you. I hope this helps somebody. I hope it gave somebody a, even if you don't do anything, but just go Google spiritual gifting. Go. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love you. And until next week, thank you for sharing this time. Be blessed.
Let your word speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your whole